All right, what is up, chat? Welcome to the stream. Let's have a look. Let me just test my sound. Bang, bang. Test, tap, bang, bang. That's a bit better. Boom. All right, skitty pop. All right, chat. Welcome to the stream. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Today, I'm actually hopping into this long at all-time high areas in the London session. Now, let's actually have a look at what happened throughout the week. So we know that there was we didn't trade on Friday night, to be honest, so we didn't really make any changes to the chart, so I'll quickly do that now. We can see there's a breaker structure here, a whole lot of things going on there, but I'll just quickly delete that. So let's have a look at the 30 minutes. We can see here there's a breaker structure, new protected low, okay, breaker structure, and then there was a higher time frame breaker structure here, as you can see, on the 4 hour. Okay, on this 4 hour line here, we have this breaker structure making new all-time highs, chat. So we've got new all-time highs made on the Friday night. I didn't trade that, it was two. Friday night's kind of how you going. So this is what actually happened on that night. So you can see there was a breaker structure. I'm just going to hide everything here. So you can see there's a breaker structure here. I'll bring it back. There's a breaker structure. It made a protected high here, pulled back, breaker structure, made a new protected high. Okay, so this is the protected high from Friday night. It came back down and the market closed around here. Okay, market closed here. So market closed here. Asia session opened up here, candle up, price came down to take this sort of inducement or sweep that liquidity there before making its way to the protected high, all-time high actually. As you can see, it doesn't break it. And at 5:30 today, right here, 5:30, which is 30 minutes into the Frankfurt session. 30 minutes into the Frankfurt, let me have a check. 30 minutes into the Asia session, to the London session. 30 minutes into the London session, swept all-time highs, came down, and then price rejected off of this. Price came and rejected off of this protected low on the 15-minute. As you can see, we've got a point of interest here. This last down candle there, boom. This is the supply point of interest. Rejected off there, came back up, retraced. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'm going to go down into the 1 minute. So price came from the all-time highs down to this 15-minute supply point of interest. Let's actually see how far if we use a Fibonacci retracement. Came back to about 50% retracement, okay, of the leg. Was double topped there, and then it came back down to the supply zone, and it has rejected it. And after the rejection, that's where I decided to take a long. Okay, so if we look closely here, so as you can see, price has come back up, retraced to 50% of that initial leg, came back, created, like, I guess you can call it a double top in this area here, double top, and then there's some inducement here, and then price came down to sweep this low to create this another low, and then you got the V-shaped recovery, as you can see, which I'm trying to implement more. Lance Brightstein's right side of the V kind of ideology. And if I pull up my chart execution now, this is pretty interesting, chat. I actually had a limit order to long exactly at 79.50 right there. Now price just missed it the first time, and I was like, "Ooh, should I get in? Should I get in?" Came back down, and it came back down here, and I'm like, "Okay, it's going to tag me in," and it didn't, and I was like, "Ooh." And so at that point, I was like, you know what? It came back up here, and at this point, I was like, I just got to take it. I can't sit for a limit. I have to. It's giving me clear signs. It's rejected it twice at this area. Bang, bang, bang. And I need to take the long here. So if we actually look at the chart execution itself, you can see here 8 micros at 24.850, 24.85. So if I move this one down, that is where I long. It's right here. Beautiful entry. And then I added one more micro in there just to make sure my stop loss is rounded up. Okay, so it's covering the protected low there. And I'm aiming for about 2-to-1 risk to reward. Which means we are aiming for something like here. So this is 2.39. So something like that one's 2-to-1 risk reward. I'm going to make my first take profit area at that 2-to-1 risk reward. I can realistically take some off at the half point mark. But realistically, I would honestly like to see potentially this actually come here. And because it's a pro trend continuation, chat, because it has rejected off this protected low, doesn't want to go down further just yet, hasn't showed us that it wants to go down further, then we could potentially hold it all the way up to here, this Asia high. We could. We don't know if it's the greatest idea yet, but we could. So at the moment, following price action here, we can see that it looks like it's going to potentially make its way up to this little point up here, this internal protected high, which I'm going to mark up. So I'm going to take profits right before we enter it. The reason why I'm doing it right here, around here, one, is obviously because it's 2 to 1 risk to reward. But two, if you notice closely, if you look closely here, there's that supply point of interest there. And so I want to sort of take that a little bit off up there, okay? Now today, if we look closely, we are in 1, 2, 3, 4. We're in day 5 of PJ Trades 1 trade a day challenge for 21 days. As you can see, we are a little bit down from last week, but realistically speaking, you know, we're just gonna stick to our rules, do our 1 trade a day, and keep an eye on the charts. That's all we can do. Stick to our rules. Bang. We might even look at taking full TP at this area here if price doesn't want to go to the end. Okay, so that could be an option here. I don't want to get shaken out too early, but you know, I have to react and not predict the market. So this is where we're at the moment, chat. So I hope everything makes sense so far. I'm very happy to take half of the position off here on this account, and I've also got a couple of trades going on my Alpha Futures account here. This one, unfortunately, because I was trying to get in on the other trade, got me in at a really bad price. So you know, this one I had to take the long, not waiting for my limit order, and then as I took that long, I had to jump into my other account here, and I jumped into the long, but it got me at a really bad price. So the risk to reward isn't the greatest there. So I'm just gonna I want to try and tighten up this stop loss a little bit, to be honest. Actually, I'm gonna move this one to a little bit over break even because just the entry was quite bad, and I'm going to try and get this with a tight take profit here on the Alpha Futures. As you can see here, Alpha Futures have had a few trades over the last week on this account, but yeah, nothing crazy there. So that's my Alpha Futures. My top step is 1 trade a day. As you can see, we're sticking to that. You know, 1 loss, 1 win of 2 risk reward, and then 2 single trade losses. And that's pretty much it, chat. So yeah, I think this this partial TP here will be pretty decent. I think it's about 300 off, maybe also 250 off, securing 250 for the account. And yeah, we shall see if it can go a bit further. That's pretty much it. That's all we have today, chat. I think, you know, looking at price action for this sort of day, you know, it is Monday, no major news, so not much liquidity, but we are at all-time highs. So I don't expect, with no news or anything like that, I don't expect it to go breaking all-time highs again. So I don't think it will honestly come up to the all-time highs again. So yeah, but as you can see here, we've had this double rejection candle wick off on the 15-minute time frame of these 15-minute protected low. So there we go. We've just taken partials off. It's about 240. Okay, and then we're gonna see if we can maybe hold up until something a bit bigger. Maybe we'll keep an eye on it, chat. Now that partials are taken off, I am moving to break even, making sure I secure that. And yes, I might consider doing a trailing stop loss. Let's have a look at this one. This one's still in there. Yeah, it's alright. We shall hold this. So this one, as you can see, it really did wick. As you can see, chat, if I open up the 1 minute, as you can see, it really did tap into that demand point of interest. See this one here? It tapped into it perfectly. Sorry, supply. It tapped into the supply point of interest there, and it had just started rejecting. So it's very interesting to see. So yeah, we'll see how this plays out. I'm gonna maintain a second last 5-minute trailing stop loss just in case. We have taken some off the table, which is fine. Okay, we're taking our partials off. Realistically speaking, would I have been okay with about 1.9 risk to reward? It would have been okay. Maybe I could have taken all of it off, but seeing as everything is bullish at the moment, everything, 15 minutes bullish, 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour daily, 3 minutes is also bullish to an extent. So it's sort of okay to hold this trade out, realistically speaking. I don't know whereabouts though to take full profit, because there is this, I guess, 3-minute massive fair value gap, around here that's left, that we could maybe target some parts of this part, maybe. But as you can see, it did reject off that supply, 1-minute supply point of interest. Be interesting to see where it goes from here. So yeah, that is the trade for now. I'm just gonna leave this. I'll be right back, chat. 1 second, I'm gonna grab a drink. All right, and I'm back. So what is happening here, chat? We are watching price sort of play out. Looks like it might continue bullish. I mean, that 5-minute candle was a bit 3-minute massive wick there is a bit concerning. Do I take profits early? Do I cut it short, chat? What do I do? It did react on the 1-minute lower time frame. Yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna cut it. I'm cutting it. That's a small trade. Could have been more. Is what it is, chat. Yeah, definitely maybe should have realized that since it's reacting to that, it rejected off. I could have taken it off earlier. Made sure I secured more profits, or just stuck to the 1.9 risk to reward. That would have been alright, but I guess I got a little bit greedy. Overall, we got around a 1-to-1 risk to reward today, which is okay. We're sticking with one trade a day. We're sticking with it. We're doing okay. We're still surviving, so that's alright. Before I forget, oh man, That's my that one could have been a lot more. Anyways, so that's it for today. Day 5 of PJ trades, one trade a day. We're up $376.84 across 5 top step challenges, 50k combines. So we're about 3% of the way, 3%, halfway to being funded. So that's exciting. And I'm gonna lock myself out. And I'll see you guys in the next one, chat.